Shalom, y'all. I'm back. This won't be very long, but I've been pondering a lot over the past week. I've been kind of under the low, if you might say. But God is definitely showing me a lot as time moves on. How vital it is. As we all know, loving God means to worship Him, not just any way we choose, but in spirit and truth. And the time has come where we must worship Him in spirit and truth. It's easy to throw that around like a cliche, but when you really look at it, God is very serious about the way we worship Him. He clarifies it time and time again about worshiping Him in the way that He desires, in the way that He ordains, in the way that He wants us to worship Him, because we serve Him, and not the other way around. Like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 12, John chapter 4, worshiping Him not as unbelievers do, not like pagans do, and not to inquire after the way they worship their false gods and worship Him the same manner. I'll never understand what gives us the right to overlook that and consistently overlook that passage and continue to go in our own foolish understanding and think we have it all together and think we can worship Him the way we want and think that He's okay with that. Nowhere is that commanded in Scripture. Yeshua did not die for us on the execution stake just to discard what Abba has already given us. God did not change. He doesn't change. God did not change His instructions. Man did. Well, tries to. But at the same time, when it comes to His holy convocations, what good is doing that? It's just going through the motions. Without Yeshua, it's all pointless. Without Yeshua, His holy days they still stand. But doing them just to do them and not having your heart in it is in vain. But in the news, I'm seeing on social media all of these Luciferian one world government rallies, which is blatantly satanic. And rightfully we must condemn that, and we must counter that as set-apart believers. But at the same time, it's time to remove the paganism that has crept in the assembly of Messiah for far too long. We have excused it for far too long. It is time. We need to slowly but surely remove and destroy every inch of satanic worship that has crept its way into the church. Because God's not going to tolerate that when He comes back. He never has and He never will. We've seen the way that has gone for ancient Israel. And while we want to mock Israel for their unbelief, we want to mock them for their rebellion and disobedience when we're following in their exact footsteps. Mock them all you want. We're following in the exact same way. We're following the exact same path as ancient Israel, with no remorse, no repentance, no acknowledgement. We go on our own understanding and think God's okay with it. He's not. He never has. He never will. God already gave us how to celebrate and observe Him and glorify Him. That is not just for the Jews. They were given prior to the Jewish people, and they still stand because, again, he never changes. For those who want to counter and try to twist scripture and to think that God has done away with it by using things like Colossians 2, you won't find another verse in there to try to prove that, because scripture always must interpret scripture. They must be harmonized. That's basic hermeneutics. As I said before, the highest form of worship is obedience. And what better way to obey is what he has already laid out in his word, his Torah, his instructions. This is a warning, not just for you, but for me too, because I'm not exempt. Let us continue to worship him in spirit and truth, the way he desires, the way he has already laid it out in his word, without trying to add or to bend or twist anything he says for our own amusement. Grace and shalom be with all of you, and keep enduring.